Hello there and welcome to another video and of course another diorama. Tomorrow we're actually going to be looking at another exclusive Lego set, but today we have this exclusive set from the 2017 Star Wars Celebration. Now the set is missing its minifigures and there should be another stand here, but I've held on to it for just over 6 years. I was never at the celebration. I think it might have been Anaheim at the time, but I did manage to find the instructions online. There were a load of pictures posted on the web and I managed to build my own with the pieces that I had at the time. And yes, I did have to pull apart many of my sets just to get these pieces. However, they're all quite fairly common pieces, so I was able to do so without much trouble. Now today, after 6 years of that, well, 6.5 years of this special being released, we'll be upgrading it and turning it into a modern day diorama. This would go very nice with the trash compactor diorama, and if any of you do own that set, you'll know that there is a little bit just at the back of the trash compactor where R2 and 3PO go, and that would have been perfect to fill this space here. I will be taking this across to my new design and making sure we can fit a similar scene in that, as I feel the trash compactor was quite flat at the back and didn't have enough space to do it, whereas having something like this where a corner of it is empty would be great to fill with a bit more detail than Lego included. So this is my own model and I do have instructions for it. I'm still working on getting them to you. However, as we approach 400 subs, we are that much closer to hitting 500 by Christmas. So hopefully I'll have a members tier ready to go as soon as we hit 500, and that will include all my instructions up to this date, including both the Dark Trooper attack diorama and this diorama, which I'm afraid I'm unable to upload to Rebrickable, so hopefully you can hang on for that member tier and the instructions will be there. But let's get started with this diorama and we'll take a look at it once it's built. And now that this diorama is done, well, it's not completely finished, but it's done to the best of my ability. There's a few mixed colours here and there, and I don't have over 100 of these red grill pieces, as these are all that come with the original Detention block rescue. But I do think I've greatly improved the outdated set and turned it into more of a modern day diorama, and can't wait to show you some of the features. But first I have a few leftover stickers from the Dark Trooper attack playset, so let's apply them and see if it improves this set. As you can see, I've just used the stickers from the elevator. I've actually split them to show that this elevator is not currently here and this one is. Of course, we do have a hole through this elevator and some blaster holes above it to show where the stormtroopers are entering, and we also have the controls for the lift just on that wall there. The last of my extra Dark Trooper attack stickers does go to this light wall here, which in the scene does have a few more lights and it sort of repeated the pattern. So I've used both of the stickers on this 1x6x5 panel. And you could even use the other side of the 1x2x5 pieces that we got in the throne room playset, but I feel this just replicates the pattern much more easily and is also a lot thinner, as they're not too thick when we see them in the scene. Now, using bricks, I have created a lot of different techniques, like having this little gap run up the wall where we see it. And I've also kept the hexagonal shape to both of the doorways, as well as creating a completely new control panel, which does resemble the one I used in my throne room door. Now, you can see if I hold this here, I'll put up an image of the old one. You can compare just how much this is an improvement to the older model, and I think I'm definitely liking this new design in the middle, especially with a little com. That harm does eventually blast, and if I could have covered the whole floor in this red grille, I think that would truly make it look just that much better. I also have the cameras or turrets that are just on the side of the doorway here, as well as the steps leading up, which I've just stacked the 1x2 plate with that offset stud and leading up to a 2x4 tile. Now, I didn't want to create this mock too tall, so for the back bit here, all I've done is had one of the snot bricks with a smaller T-slope on the side, and that just gives it the look of arching up as it eventually would, as the whole prison block row is elevated from this base. Now, if we turn it around, there are a few odd coloured bricks here and there, and I have studied out where 3PO and R2 would go, but this would create the hangar bay, or at least the portion of it that 3PO and R2 are in when the gang needs saving in the trash compactor. And I think this just gives it much more space and makes it look a lot better than just sticking it somewhere on the back here with a few studs protruding from the diorama. And I know Lego couldn't have included this cornered off section in the trash compactor, but I think if they gave us another diorama of the scene of this scene here in my hand, I think including this in some extra space would be really cool. And though I don't see him revisiting this, especially with the focus on Phantom Menace for its 25th anniversary next year. But I just think if you are planning on building a mock, it might be worth getting them figures over to this diorama and freeing up the back of your old one. I don't usually like stickers, but especially when it comes to dioramas like this, we're not going to get that detail on a brick, and we're definitely not going to get any printed elements. I suppose they might give us a printed brick for the Imperial light pattern, as it's used in so many sets and we've seen the sticker so much. But the others, like the elevator and the control panels, aren't going to be printed anytime soon, so stickers would be really helpful, just giving us that extra detail. But overall, I think this diorama turned out really great, and now let's get the minifigures to complete the set. With the minifigures on the diorama, it just shows off another feature, as you can actually have someone standing in, clipped down to the two studs on the side there. And of course, Han is talking to the Imperial the other side, and just before he blasts his way out. And I've also got my custom Luke, which does use the custom arm prints from Firestar Toys. Again, I'll leave my code on screen now for you to get 10% off your next order, as well as the 10% back you'll get in star points. And there's plenty of space to rearrange all the troopers and even have some stormtroopers falling through this gap as we see in the scene. So I think this diorama has come out really well, and this has taken the base from the Dark Trooper Attack playset. However, I will be leaving another poll up in the community tab, and as I've got so many dioramas, you might have to comment if your favourite didn't make the top 3. But keep an eye on the community tab also, as today's magazine does include the C3PO that came in the trash compactor diorama. So the C3PO would fit this scene here, and I'll whack an R2 on there and post a picture of what it looks like after I've picked up the minifigure. So be sure to check that out, and as always, like if you did enjoy the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on more awesome Lego content. May the bricks be with you always.